Hey guys, it's Matty. It's the Broken Supercoach checking in. Teams have just dropped. Oh, I've already scrolled down a little bit. Teams have dropped in last night. Haven't got the Friday, haven't got the Sunday teams yet. Sorry, but that's all right. We'll go through. We'll take a look. There's not a huge amount to really look at, but we'll go through. There's some. I guess the key thing will be the trades. What do you want to do with the trades? Because you probably have to do some big trades, and um, I'll show you what I'm doing. I'll address Cornelio and Steele, as well as probably, yeah, what ins to get. I'll gloat a little bit about the some rookie selections, but um, let's go through it. So, not a lot here in this game. Rowbottom's out suspended. I don't think anyone has any of these guys. If you had Zach Williams, bad luck. Cripps in the middle, Walsh on the wings. We like seeing that. If you've got, who else would you have? That's about it. I think Doherty on the bench, you'd be concerned about that. I think he's had some fitness issues. Jack Carroll's still named. You got to be pretty happy with that when they lose. They lost 3 guys though, so Noon's managed. So Brody Kemp dropped. So that's good. It means that Jack Carroll's at least ahead of Kemp. Is Brody Kemp ahead of Noon? Carroll ahead of Noon's? Unsure. I hadn't actually looked into the Zach Williams injury. I think it's a while, but I think Jack Carroll holds his spot for a while. So if you traded him in over Hamilton and whoever Clark early or Rioli, you've done well there, haven't you, Jack Carroll? I think it's a really nice pickup. Well done. Hopefully he plays for you guys for most of the year. I think for everyone else, he's gone. You can't get him. Sydney, you got nothing here. Nothing really to look at. You got still Paddy McCartan named down back. He's doing wonders for us at the moment, scoring really well. And defenders score really well against Carlton as well. Because, I mean, maybe not. We'll see in this matchup because they're 2 evenly matched team. But Carlton being a good footy team have a lot of inside 50s, which naturally means defenders are going to score well. So hopefully we'll get another good score out of Paddy McCartan because we'll probably need him on field again. Callum Mills named first on ball. A lot of people bringing him in this week. For Steele, I don't like it. I mean, you guys know my history with Callum Mills. I don't trust it. Soft tissue history. He's just such a versatile footy player. I've said this in the last episode, and I'll say it again. He's such a versatile footy player where he can be that ball-winning, on-ball guy. He can be that outside kicking efficiency, the link-up guy to put the inside 50s in. He can also be the tagger. He can do anything. He's such a good player. He's a really, really good player. And sometimes, in the case of Paddy Cripps or, a Rory Laird or, Bont, McRae, those guys who are really good players, or Petrarca, Oliver, those guys are really good players, but they've got how they play. It's built into them, like everyone knows what you're going to get from Paddy Cripps. Everyone knows what you're going to get from Bontempelli, unless he plays forward. He's probably a bad example. You know what you're going to get with Jackson McRae. You know what you're going to get with Jack Steele when he plays. Ollie Wines are similar. You know what you're going to get. Unless they're out of form. They're either in form or out of form. Callum Mills can be in form, in the form of his life, and still drop a 50 because Sydney just use him in a different way. So keep that in mind if you're looking at trading Callum Mills this week. I know he looks attractive, and he may prove me wrong. Just remember that this time last year, I traded in Callum Mills, and it looked like the greatest trade in the history of man. I was top 100, and I would argue that between him and Parrish, was the reason I missed the top 100. So maybe that's a little bit of bias, but whatever. Matt Roberts' name, Dylan Stevens' name. You shouldn't have Dylan Stevens. Get rid of this guy if you've got him. Matt Roberts, yeah, could get another rookie. That'd be nice. But Braden Campbell's still to come in as well. So you'd think, Rowbottom comes back. You think Braden Campbell's ahead of these 3 unless they want to just debut one of these guys. So Sydney look pretty strong at the moment. So Crows have done nothing really relevant here. Murphy Thilthorpe. Yeah, the Himmelberg, that's probably the last you'll see in the AFL of Himmelberg. He'll probably get signed somewhere else, though. Wanganeen Miller, I don't think anyone's got him. And Jack Steele. So who are we trading for Jack Steele? We'll have a look after. But I think we've got to go we've got to go someone like you've got to go another Uber premium is what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I lost my thought there. You have to go on. So Jack Steele is an well, is he? I don't know. You picked him thinking he was an Uber premium. So that means if you can go Jack Steele, and I'll talk about it in a minute. If you can go Tuke Miller, Cripps, McRae, there's probably others. Oliver, they're probably the four. Oh, Neil. So they're the five. Off the top of my head, if you don't have any of those, it's a pretty easy side trade. The only reason I don't put Gorn in that list is because he's got a break even at 200 and something. He's in a different line, and he's just not playing well. He's probably injured, if I'm being honest. Gorn did mention he had a knee injury the last week or two, so I probably wouldn't go Steele for Gorn this week. Yeah, if you can get Sicily, Dunkley, Parker. If you don't have any of those, or maybe not Heaney. If you don't have any of those guys, think about those. And after that, it's a pod. So we'll go through what I'm going to do. Nothing else relevant here. This team's, they're not really relevant anymore, are they? As far as Supercoach goes. Sinclair a halfback. Sorry. So he's probably another one you could pick up for Steele. And maybe he gets a bit more on ball time with Steele. But what does that mean? Does he score well on ball? I don't actually know. I know nothing about Sinclair. So keep that in mind that this team is going to change a lot with Jack Steele. We may see someone like who's cheap, perhaps a Billings, perhaps a Windhager gets more. He's not that cheap anymore. I just don't see anyone getting that opportunity. It's one to keep an eye on because the scoring in this team is going to change. So maybe you get a value pick. Maybe Brad Crouch gets into form. Maybe Seb Ross is a nice little pod. I don't think so, but you never know. Yeah, it wouldn't be another day without Geelong dropping another rookie, so that makes sense. Knevitt out, Cooper Stevens out, and Gyron Myers managed because he needs the managed time. He's only 3 years into his AFL career, or 3 or 4 years, is it? Yeah, so got to manage him for Geelong. They manage all their old men, so I don't know. This team's crazy. They manage someone every week. Good on them. Who not really a lot relevant here. You'd probably not. We got SDK in the back. We love seeing this guy. Hopefully he gets a bit of footy, but this could be a one-sided game. Port at Gamba. We'll see though. And then Port, they've dropped Fantasia, they've dropped Frederick. I don't think anyone's really got anyone here. I obviously got off the Butters train, but there he is named again at half forward. Scored 100 and something. Scored 100 was it last week at half forward against the Kangaroos. Their Geelong aren't the Kangaroos, so I think we'll go back to normal scoring with Butters, and either I'm wrong or I'm right. So you'll see. We'll see, I guess. If he drops a 40 or 50, then that's probably what you expect out of Butters for the rest of the year. If he drops, say, 80 or 90, it's probably a bad trade by me. You've got to be pretty happy with 80 or 90. We'll see. Sam Hayes named at R1, still making money. Probably has a good game, actually, because they don't have a real ruckman here. So, you may be able to hear my washing machine. I don't know if you can, though, but that's just the way life is, Sometimes you got to do your washing. So Horne-Francis back in. I think everyone got off him. And Zeri back in as well. I think everyone got off Zeri as well. So there's probably not a lot here to talk about. Nobody had any of these. So I think we're done with the Kangaroos, aren't we? As far as any relevance whatsoever. Aaron Hall's out. Horne-Francis is traded out of most people's teams. I don't know if nobody really talks about him in the comments, but if you still have Perez, all right, cool. Melbourne just kicking along, aren't they? So Max Gawn's still named at R1, but that's what they do with him. He has been carrying an injury and he's been playing a lot different footy. Any other year, if Steele gets injured, then you just go immediately to Gawn if he's not in your team. But back-to-back 80s with an injury scare and an awkward bye, I just don't know if you do that this week, especially the break-even at 200. There's a chance we're going to get Max Gawn for 500k. There's also a chance that you just skip over Max Gawn entirely and you run with Bruce, and then I'll probably just put English at R2. So think about that as well. And that opens us up another forward line spot for some DPP that comes through, perhaps a Bailey Smith, perhaps a Bontempelli. So yeah, not a lot to talk about in Melbourne either. Gibcus back, we love to see it. He's still on our team. Best 22, great pick by these guys. A top 10 pick, I think he was. Looks really good, real good intercept marker. So hopefully he goes back to scoring in his 60s and 70s. I don't think I'll need him on field this week. I might, though. I might have him on field. Nick Martin on the wing. You'd think these guys would be keen to come back. This is a tough game of footy, this one. Geez, just not much that I'm really attracted to outside of this, isn't there? Dusty's still on. You wouldn't go anywhere near Dusty this year. Some people have Bolton, which is a brave pick. Ridley, yeah, if you still have him, well done. Hobbs, what a great pick this has turned out to be. I can't believe that's the correct option over Rosas, but fine, he's still playing footy. Not a lot to go through on these teams either. We're really down to that period where we're just in a sort of holding pattern and we're just trading injuries and good rookies, aren't we? Yeah, Buku Karmas named here in the forward line, half forward. He always trolls with these. Macomb's still playing. We love to see it. What else do we have? Bear with me a sec, guys. So we've got Macomb. Yeah, Bont named in the forward line again. Bailey Smith named in the forward line again. So if you still haven't finished your forward line, you've still got Nick Martin there. Perhaps you're not convinced about Butters or Cornelio. Keep in mind that Bailey Smith and Bont in round 12 may get the DPP status. I reckon Bailey Smith absolutely does. It's just whether Bont sneaks in or not, which would be really interesting for your forward line structure. English is not named again, so if you're an English holder with golden hands like me, then I would say have no fear. English will be back next week. Apparently he's very sick. They're probably holding him out because they're not too fussed about Gold Coast. He probably could have played. Sweet did well. English will be back next week and we'll be so happy about it. Dunkley first on ball. And not a lot relevant in Gold Coast. Rao's still here. I suppose he's still ticking along. He's a bit like Dacos, where you just can trade him whenever because he's reliable with his score. I took Miller in the middle. He's back to his best by the looks. Laying tackles like a madman. And Witts looks like R2 after I traded him at the start of the year, so that's fun. Rosas still getting named. We like that as well. Hopefully he can make us a bit of money. Oh, one thing I didn't talk about with Richmond was Morris Rioli. So he's named last on the bench. Hopefully he's not injured and he just played trash. You'd love to see another good game out of Morris Rioli. Maybe he gets a 70 or something. And keeps his spot in the team. Essendon are a pretty weak footy side, let's be real. So he may get a couple of goals. He may get that 10 touches that he's used to getting. And we can boost this scoring up again, because a 7 from him is just total disaster stations, isn't it? And Sunday games, we'll breeze through these, because again, there's not much to talk about. They've dropped Begg, which is really great for our Darcy Cameron pick. Now he's a solo ruck. I guess he'll get a chop out from Mason Cox, but we're loving Darcy Cameron in the ruck at the moment. Nick Dacos, interesting name there. Paddy Lip named first on ball as well. Some interesting changes here. I don't think they make... Well, they have to make 4 changes, don't they, with Cox on field. Jamie Elliott comes back as well. This team's looking stronger. Too many changes to beat Fremantle, though. Fremantle are looking great. I don't think we've got a huge amount in the team, though. Sean Darcy, don't want to go anywhere near him. We're loving Will Brodie. We'll have to keep an eye on him when Fife eventually does come back. But, geez, I mean, he'd be stiff to get a role change after how well he's played. He's close to that best and fairest, I imagine. We've got GWS. We got GWS and the Eagles. So this is what I was talking about when I say coach changes. When a coach changes on the horizon, you have to be really careful about who you bring in from this team. So, yeah, they'll play him Whitfield injured most likely. They're finally going to give him a rest. I don't think anyone brought Finn Callahan in because he was just too expensive. Cooper Hamilton, what a disaster if you picked him. And that's what I said. Leon Cameron might have liked him, but McVeigh may not want him. Perhaps he wasn't playing that well. Perhaps he wasn't serving the role that they wanted. And out he goes. And they've made a fleeting amount of other changes through sickness and injuries and whatnot. But, who knows? These are probably injuries that these guys have been carrying for a while. And Leon Cameron just doesn't care. Bruce, still the best ruckman going. We love to see it. Cornelio named first on ball. I'm really keen for this. I think this is a statement by McVeigh here to say, hey, Cornelio, he's still got it. Put him in the middle with Tommy Green. You got to believe, because I'm not going to trade him this week. I want to see the new role under the new coach. And if he drops another 40, he'll probably get dropped, in fairness. So they just didn't want to drop too many guys. So he's either in or he's out. Interesting, Riccardi and not Ash on the wing as well. So yeah, there'll be one to watch for sure on Sunday. West Coast, all we care about is if Greg Clark is named, and there he is right there on field. So we'll bring him in this week, and that'll be the second trade that we make. So Greg Clark will put someone down, probably Bailey J. Williams, because this has been a fail pick. Yeah, he's named R1. I don't really care. Braden Bruce is going to light him up this week. That's just what Bruce does. This guy's not AFL standard, and West Coast aren't playing AFL standard footy at the moment. So that's all we've got there. And lastly, we've got Hawthorne and Brisbane. Yeah, Finn McGuinness is out. Connor McDonald, you probably should have traded him when he was announced as managed in the last couple of weeks, just because you knew there was that sub chance. Warple dropped. Nothing really relevant in these names either. So we're really not seeing a lot on the horizon. Marcus Adams' health and safety protocols means nothing to us. It does mean that Keenan Coleman is in the extended bench. So this afternoon I'll keep an eye on that, because that might, you know how I feel about, I respect playing players. So when I hit the team up, at the moment I'm trading Bailey Williams because his break-even's high. But if Coleman goes, even though his break-even's 35, he's not going to make me a lot more money. I'll probably get rid of him instead. But how do I do that? I don't know. So it's probably Bailey J. Williams no matter what. So here's the trades. Jack Steele, Bailey Williams out. Jack Steele you have to get rid of. It's too long. He's back in round 18. Irrelevant. It's just meaningless for us. And Bailey Williams, break-even's too high. L pick. I'm just trying to save the money when I could here. Bad trade. You could also do Cornelio, I guess, if you don't believe in Cornelio. I personally think he's going to be all right, but we'll see. This will be the last week Cornelio gets a chance. I'll trade him next week if not. Who are we going to bring in? So I've ummed about this. Walsh. I really like the Walsh pick because of the bye. But I think it's silly not to look past Rory Laird, who's averaging 122. And I know I'm ignoring Callum Mills. I will do that. I'm not going to pay $670 for Callum Mills, who has... The reason I won't pay, and I'm really bullish on this, so a lot of other channels might be bringing him in, but you've got 3 scores of under 85 in his system. Not in the system, sorry, but just in his scoreline. That's gross. Like, you can't... I know he's got a 200 and a 147 and 167 and 139. Those are insane scores. And 130 against North, you don't count. Everyone scores 130 against North. Those are really nice scores, but... And I'm sure total points wise he'll make those up. But boy, you just don't want to see a bloke dropping back-to-back 60s on you, do you? That you pay $670,000 for. So probably a no-go from me. Or absolutely a no-go from me. Whereas Rory Laird, reliable, 30k lower, and has dropped. He's got the 190 for when he had a broken hand first game back, and since then has not scored under 116. Really nice scoring. Yeah, he got tagged in the GWS game a little bit by Lockie Ash. Up against a tough midfield with the Dogs, still scored 120. A huge loss against Essendon, still scored 140. Another massive loss against Brisbane, still scored 140. The guy scores. So let's put him in. And then what we'll do is we'll send English up here. And we'll grab... we'll send English up. We'll send probably just say... Rioli can go down, whatever, it doesn't matter. And because he's going to be on the bench because DeConnie's still going to be there. And then we're just going to run Greg Clark. So Greg Clark comes in. So, who else is there to come in the future? We'll have a look in a tick. There's Greg Clark. Probably don't name him on field. We just don't trust his scoring. I actually prefer DeConning over Greg Clark. But we could go Greg Clark over DeConning. Martin here. Greg Clark there. I just feel like that's safe. If Greg Clark's on your bench, Greg Clark's on your bench. Don't get too sad about that. The other one I could do is I may not want to risk Cornelio. Now, what this trade does for me though, it leaves me with 240k in hand, and it also means that I have to play English. I struggle to get English out of here for a couple of weeks until I trade Sam Hayes, but that's okay. English will just play R2 for the time being. Sam Hayes is not a huge scorer. We'd rather have English on field there, so it'll be English approves for the time being, perhaps forever. And it means we'll just get ourselves another forward at some point. We do want to keep looking at defenders eventually. So let's hit that on the trade. And then we'll just take a look at, we'll just zoom out. Oh, no, we'll give it that much zoom. And we'll talk about what we're going to do as far as, so we do have English playing on this day, so we can pick a captain from this group, which is pretty straightforward. We'll put a vice captain on Paddy Cripps. We don't mind that at all. We got English to play, so we can loop English like this. Hayes there. We don't mind that at all. The issue is that you probably want to put a VC on McRae against Gold Coast. I don't have anyone else out. If Coleman's a lay out, I could use him as the loop, and I really like that idea. Otherwise, we'll run. Who else could we captain late? That's the tough part, isn't it? Neil against Hawthorne. So simple as that, really, isn't it? So Cripps into Neil. I also don't mind Laird as a captain option too, as soon as he comes in. So that's the team. Do you run McCartan? I think you run McCartan over Gibcus for sure. And if Coleman's out, we'll do some tricky loops with Dacos and Gibcus, but not a big deal. I'll slap the emergency on Greg Clark here. I think he's the best scorer of these three, but I've really enjoyed Saligo. Obviously Hayes for the loop, and then obviously use Rosas as your emergency here. I don't think you can use, and I think DeConning with how well he's been playing recently is the field option there. So that's my team. A lot of people bringing in Buku Karmas. Yeah, I missed him. That sucks for me. I just did the maths wrong there on Buku Karmas. Unfortunate. I'm not doing double trades down with Jack Steele out. So if you didn't have Jack Steele, just quickly, if you've stuck around this long, thanks very much. If you didn't have Jack Steele, so you don't need to trade Jack Steele, then I'd be trading in Buku Karmas and Greg Clark this week, and do a double downgrade. You could even boost and use that money to get, people trading in Dustin Hutton and Brave, aren't they? You could use that to get Mills or Walsh or Cripps or whoever, Laird, whatever. I like Laird. Now, let's have a quick look. Playing in round 12. I've got so many playing in round 12, and that's what scares me, because round 13, I've got now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 premiums out in round 13. So that really scares me. I also don't have many players playing in round 13. So round 13, I'll need to trade. I'll need to do some big trades to get players playing. And it's going to be awkward because they're going to be from round 12 players. So that's why I like Walsh instead of Cripps, just because of this bye. But I don't think I'm going to give up Rory Laird scoring over Walsh. So if, say, Laird, honestly, I think is a 120 from here on out, and Walsh is probably 110. So we're, 3 rounds away from the bye. I leak 60 points by doing that, which is not a lot in the long run. But yeah, I just think I don't want to miss Laird, and we'll just cry about the bye when it happens, in fairness. I've just traded in 2 round 13 bye players, but that's all right. We'll work it out somehow, won't we? We'll probably need to get rid of DeConning by here. So if you go for our buys, we might as well do a bit of buy talk now. In round 13, I think it's the time to offload DeConning. We'll turn him into someone, preferably a field player. Someone from round 12, perhaps. And then we probably get rid of McCartan by then as well. Perhaps Saligo's wrapped up by then. McComb might be wrapped up by then. We got a few choices. Could even be a Rosas that we like to get rid of. I mean, I've just listed every rookie, so I've really given no insight into what will happen. Yeah, but it's about on field. So McCartan and DeConning go that week. And and hopefully we've got some money in hand to bring in our last forward option, because we'll know that perhaps it's Bailey Smith, and then another defender option through Dacos the week before. I'll probably hold Dacos through the whole buy. So, but anyway, thanks guys. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you're going to do this week. And good luck. Have a good one.